should have been a cowboy. I should have learned to rope ride.
What's going on, you hosers? Cowboy Cole coming in hot. Another episode of Should Have Been a Cowboy. This is a solo pod. Felipe is cowboying in Wyoming, living the dream. Still, we love the guy. We miss the guy. He will be back soon. So today, we got a corgi barking in the background. I love that. We love the corgis. But today we have a special guest with us, a videographer, a lady behind the lens. You've definitely for sure seen her work. We're going to be talking to Tayler Bicandi. TBI Candy Media is what she goes by. She helps Shad Mayfield out with a bunch of her content. So I'm super stoked to talk about kind of how she got into that, how she shoots this content. They put out great content. Shad, obviously, very funny guy. And when you have a winner like that, man, it's so much fun to make content around somebody who does a lot of winning. So yeah, we're really excited to talk to Tayler. And let's get to Tayler Bicandi.
Hi, how's it going?
Hey, I'm good. Yourself?
Good. Can you hear me okay? My Wi-Fi can be kind of good and bad. So,
Yeah, honestly, mine too. Like out at the ranch, we got the Starlink, but it still just makes up its own mind on when it wants to work.
yeah, we got the Starlink too, and it's honestly like we never really like fully set it up. It's just like kind of sitting on the ground. There's literally a wire like coming out from my window. And we're just like, oh, we're gonna drill a hole in it. We'll just like stick it out the window. So it like comes in and out, but
I feel
hopefully
like
good now.
that's so ranchy. You just pull in a yard and you just see it out in the lawn somewhere, and you could tell they're driving around it with the mower.
Yeah, no, exactly. Well, no mower because we don't really have any grass out here in Arizona, but anyway.
Okay, so yeah, that's where you are based out of, is the great state of Arizona.
Yeah, so I'm out here in Wickenburg, team roping capital of the world.
Oh my God, what the
Good
hell? I
cowboy
really
country.
spent all winter in Whitman.
Yeah, I think I saw that on your stories. Wait, were you in Whitman or Wickenburg?
In Whitman, we were like so
Okay.
turn and go into town, like not towards
Hmm.
the tracks, but towards the, well, I guess that would be the south. And then we were at
Yeah.
Jake Hancock, so we were like on the edge through town. It was kind of sketchy getting back in there, but we loved it.
Yeah, no, Whitman is actually a little bit sketchy. So I actually keep my horse out there. So I'm out there pretty often. But when you said Whitman and like town, I was like, oh, so like the like 2 seconds when you first drive into Whitman, because there's not much in Whitman.
No, literally, I do love their little like the little market I guess they have on Saturday and Sunday. People come with their white tables, they're selling guns and like just straight trash
Yeah.
sometimes.
It's so random. I remember when I first moved down there. So when we moved to Arizona, we lived in Morristown. And yeah, I started boarding my horse out there and I was like to my barn owner, I was like, are people just like, selling shit? Like, is this legal? Like there's like taco trucks and there's cactuses and like yeah, like guns on the side of the road. And yeah, it's so random. But it's once you get back into Whitman, it's like kind of like getting nicer and like nicer houses and stuff. But when you first drive in there, you're like, oh my God, am I gonna get shot?
Yeah, for real. It was so funny. Like, we don't let the girls go to the Dollar General or anything by themselves at night because we'll pull in
Oh
there.
no.
I'll always make jokes like, "Oh, Grady, there's gonna be like the head crackhead. You're gonna have to fight him to get into the Dollar General." And there will be like a crackhead standing out front of the doors. I'm like, "There he is. He's waiting to stab you." Like, go on.
Good leader. No, yeah, for real. I try not to ride super late at night because I know I have to drive back through there and I'm like, it's a little sketchy, but no. If you stay in the good side of Whitman, it's good, but we do prefer Wickenburg. It's a lot better.
Oh my God, yeah, Wickenburg that's Disneyland for team ropers. It's so good.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. There's good and bad parts. I mean, the bad parts is like there's a lot of older community, like nothing ever needs to get changed. Like the restaurants are kind of but no, the cowboy culture and just like the small town feel of it, we definitely love it for
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely. Well, I mean, we took our parents to Cowboy Cooking, and you walk in there and it's like just old reruns of Gunsmoke on the TV and that old Western music. They freaking loved it, right? So for the
Yeah.
older crowd,
I
it's
actually
so good.
yeah, I actually haven't been to cowboy cooking, but I've been to pretty much every other little restaurant in Wickenburg. It's really good.
I like the Palomino too. I ordered the drink, the Dirty Cowboy, because it's like spice rum and Dr. Pepper.
Yep, so good. I love the Palomino. Did you guys go to the barbecue place in town? It's called like Hassayampa. It's like right there on the main strip across from the movie theater.
Um, I don't think so. No, I don't think I've hit that one yet.
It's really good. Next time, next summer or next winter, you gotta go. It's really good.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be back. We love it down there. We're slowly low key looking for land. Like we would love
Oh,
to make.
really?
Yeah. So you said you moved to Wickenburg. Where were you before?
I was in Kentucky, which is super random. So I'm from Oregon originally, and then I moved right after college to Kentucky for an internship. Um, my husband there, and we spent, gosh, how long was I in Kentucky? 2019 until 2023, we moved to Arizona.
Okay. What kind of internship was going on in Kentucky?
Just a social media internship. So I dabbled in social media, videography, and photography in college, and that's kind of what I thought I wanted to do. Like I really wanted to get into videography, somewhere in the horse world. And I thought that was kind of like a unicorn type of job. Like I was like, oh, it's never gonna happen. I grew up thinking that horses were kind of just like a hobby. Like I think probably a lot of people did. I grew up in the suburbs. My dad was like, oh, you're gonna go to college, you're gonna land a corporate job and that's going to help you pay for your horses on the side. And I was like, sounds like that blows. Like, I don't want to sit in an office. I want to work a 9 to 5. But that's what I thought I would do. And so when I was about to graduate, I remember seeing this internship for the US Equestrian Federation, which is basically the national governing body for like equestrian sports. Like they send the Olympic team and all these like international teams. And I was like, holy shit, like sounds really cool. I'd never been to Kentucky, didn't know anyone there. I'd followed one girl, my friend Jenna. She was a videographer for them, and I'd messaged her and been like, okay, like how do I be you? How do I get your job? You've probably seen her work, maybe not knowing it was her work, but her handle is GF Films, and she's got these like crazy equestrian edits that just look like they're straight out of like Sports Illustrated. She's so cool. But anyway. So it was just a social media internship and a videography internship, and it was only 3 months. And so when I applied, I was like, well, I could go over there, I could hate it, I could like fall flat on my face, but I feel like that's so important for people when they're young. And I didn't really know this at the time, but I tell young people all the time now, I'm like, you need to just move. You need to move. You need to get out of like your little comfort bubble and you need to just like experience life. And that's kind of exactly what I did. And I'm so glad I did because I ended up falling in love with Kentucky. Obviously meeting my husband now and yeah, I there are parts about it that I missed actually. I just went back for a week and I missed it for like half a second as I was flying over. I was like, "Oh my God, it's so green and beautiful and maybe I could live here again." And then it rained the next day and I was like, "No." Like I could never go back here. It was like biblical downpour rain. It was horrible and I was like, "Yep, I want to go back to the desert now."
Oh my God. And is that kind of I've never been to Kentucky or been over that far at all, so I really don't know what it's like over there. So is that kind of a normal thing for it to just pour like that?
It is kind of normal. So it's funny. I joked with my friends. I was like, I feel like I experienced every single season while I was here for a week. And that's just what Kentucky's like. It's so up and down. I mean, it's beautiful and green there for a reason. So
Hmm.
it rains pretty often. They have like monsoons in the summer. And then it's freezing cold in the winter. And it actually gets super hot. Like you're gonna get like 90% humidity in like 90-degree weather
Ooh.
and feel like yeah and feel like you're like gonna die as soon as you walk outside. And I think about it now, I'm like, how did I ever ride in that? Like how like it just you walk outside and you go ride, you go do your horse stuff, and you have to like change your shirt like 3 times a day. It's so gross.
Oh,
But
well,
it's
okay.
pretty cool.
Like I guess I don't know if I've experienced that kind of humid, like because I love the South Texas humidity. I lived in Mexico for a while working at a dive shop, loved that humid kind of
Yeah.
climate. So comparatively, can you compare it to Kentucky? Is Kentucky worse than like a South Texas? Do you know?
I've never been to South Texas. I mean, I've been to like Dallas a lot, that kind of area, Dallas Fort Worth. Have you been to Florida
No.
before? Okay, so I would say like for at least for me, like if like this is Arizona, like this is Texas, this is Kentucky and like this is Florida as far as like humidity goes. I
Okay.
hate Florida. I don't know if it's a hot take. But I hate Florida so much. But it kind of is in the middle. It's just like it's humid enough to where it's like kind of gross. But no, Texas honestly isn't bad for me. Like, but I don't really know about South Texas. Never been that far.
Yeah, it was my kind of weather for sure. I felt like I was just getting hugged by the warmth, and I love that because I'm 5'8", 140 pounds. I'm a skinny white guy. I get cold easy, you
Yeah.
know. So like living it up,
Yeah.
even right now, it's a rainy day up here, and I'm kind of bundled up in my hoodie and whatnot. So I would love to try
Yeah.
Florida weather, to be honest.
I mean, you just kind of feel like you're in a sauna constantly. Like it's great for your skin, not great for your hair. I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's just bleh. It's just the air just feels thick,
Yeah,
and people are just like crazy
yeah,
out there.
that's yeah. Right
Everyone's on
here.
drugs. Like talk about crackheads, like
Yeah,
shit. That's where the king of crackheads are
yeah,
in Florida.
that's where they make them. Yes, you're right,
But
and distribute them
yeah,
for
that's where they
the
breed
state of
them and then
Florida.
they send them over.
They got to hit
No,
their
so you're
goals.
yeah, so you're in Canada, you're up north.
Yeah, you've heard of Calgary Stampede, I would think so, man. So I'm like 40 minutes from the Calgary Stampede Arena, just south of there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's such a bucket list
You gotta come
rodeo that I
up.
want to go to.
You gotta come
I
up.
know I'm really hopeful this year that maybe I can make it up there, but it's just like so expensive to get up there. So, and I heard they're a little bit tight with their media credentials, so I'm like, it wasn't really worth it last year as far as like going up there to work and going up there as far as cost.
Hmm.
So,
Well, yeah,
but
it's
definitely for sure.
yeah, absolutely. One day, hopefully you can come up. It's definitely worth it. Okay, well that kind of segues to the next question is because now you are running the lens for some making incredible rodeo content, cowboy content, horse content, and you're doing a ton of stuff for Shad. Are you the creative inspo behind like the YouTube channel, all of his new Reels content coming out? Is that you?
That is me. Yeah.
You're killing it. Like the Vegas vlog,
Thank you.
phenomenal. Like I love all that
Oh,
shit.
thank
I
you.
like I really genuinely don't think that people understand that we could be having our own reality TV shows about our sport, about our guys, about the drama, about the lifestyle. Like this is way better than Vanderpump Rules, all right? You know what I'm saying? Like and you're starting
Oh,
to really showcase that. So, can you talk to us a little bit about getting hooked up with Shad and kind of how all that came about to start producing content for one of the best rodeo athletes to walk the earth?
yeah, absolutely. I wish it was kind of like a cooler like story, but he literally just slid into my DMs one day and was like, and this is like totally a Shad thing. He's just like social media manager question mark. And I was like so random. I didn't even know he followed me. Obviously, I followed him because I'm like in a rodeo. He's like obviously a world champion, super cool guy. And I just was like looking at the message. I was like, yeah, let's hop on a call. Sure. But just to kind of back that up a little bit, so I work for a really amazing company called Encanto Sports Group,
Mhm.
and we're basically a social media agency that manages high-level equestrian athletes. Um, so that was started by my best friend Taylor Pence and a couple other amazing gals. And it started out with just one athlete. And also to back that up a little bit more, I used to work for Taylor Pence. She was my boss at my internship, which is crazy to me now because I used to like, I mean, I still do, but I idolized her. I thought she was amazing. She was telling me what to do. And there are still days where she's telling me what to do. Um, but no, so she started it with an athlete called Boyd Martin. He's a big eventing rider. He's an Olympian. He's a really cool guy. And then it just kind of grew from there. So now we have polo players, we've got dressage athletes. And for a while, so she's more on the English side. So it really was just like English equestrian athletes. And so that really wasn't totally my realm. And then I think gosh, what was it? I came on in like 2021, no, 2023. Um, so like end of 2023, we acquired a Western client for a little bit, and I was like, heck yeah, like this is my jam. And I'm so excited. And then that kind of fizzled out, like kind of right before Shad reached out to me. So I was kind of like, well, dang it, like I need another Western client, that would be so cool if I had someone big in the Western space. And it's funny enough, my husband was like online one day, like on Instagram, and he's like, it'd be so cool if you guys got like Shad Mayfield. And I
Oh,
was like, there's no way that Shad Mayfield's gonna reach out to us and want us to do his content. Like, we've got all these English people, no one even knows who we are. Um, and yeah, no, it just like totally happened in a weird way like that. Social media manager, which I think I had in my bio, I think I probably still do. So that's probably why he reached out like that. And I was like, yeah, let's get on a call. And so we did, and I fumbled my way through a 20-minute phone call, and he didn't have much to say. He was just like, yep, that sounds great. Send me a proposal, send me a price sheet, and let's get going. And I'm just like, shit, it was that easy? Like, dang, I would have reached out like months ago. So that's kind of like how I got started.
that's
And
huge.
gosh, we're almost at a year right now. I think what's today? I think
Well,
my first trip out to his farm was like May 16th. So it's just about a year.
oh wow.
It's felt like a lot longer though, in a
Hey,
good way, in bad way.
yeah, no, absolutely. So you get control, you get the reins of the content, and then was it your idea to be like, hey, I want to build just like lifestyle vlogs around you at rodeos, or did you kind of have a plan for NFR? How did those come about?
I can't exactly remember how it came about. I'm pretty sure YouTube wasn't my idea. I've never been like super into YouTube. I'm more of like Instagram, and none of our other athletes at the time had YouTube. And I'm pretty sure it was Shad's idea. Shad was like, I think I want a YouTube. And I was like, sure, that sounds cool. Like, you're you're funny, you have great personality. Let's show the world. And YouTube's a great way to monetize. Other platforms you can get like collab deals and one-off kind of post deals with companies, but nowhere really monetizes like YouTube. And I'm always up for a good challenge. So I was like, yeah, sure, let's try it. And there are some days where I'm like, shit, whose idea was it to start this guy on YouTube? Like, this is so much work. But for the most part, no, the vlogs was just kind of was probably like a joint idea between the two of us, but obviously he brings them to life with all the crazy stuff that he does, the stuff that he says. He's a great personality. I mean, you guys had him on, you know that. So I think it was kind of a joint effort. But as far as the NFR vlogs go, that kind of was born out of necessity because I couldn't get a media credential to actually film him at the NFR. Talk about like tight-lipped, like they're very tight as far as like who they let in, who they don't let in. We kind of pushed the envelope a little bit as far as what we were able to get. We got kicked out of the tunnel a couple nights. We definitely weren't supposed to be there, but I'm not even sure if I should say that. But anyway, the content's out now, so they know we were in there.
Mhm.
But yeah, so it just kind of turned into, well, we can't get you in the arena, but literally everyone can see what you do in the arena if they turn on the Cowboy channel. So let's just give them something that is different behind the scenes. We can tie in sponsors. So basically, we just follow him around all day and just see what he does behind the scenes.
Yeah, I think people don't really genuinely understand how much work that is. Like, because like looking at it from a creator standpoint, I've been big on YouTube since I was young and
Mhm.
always wanted to. I idolize channels who got to have fun with their friends. And we got to grow up in an
Yeah.
era where we watched those guys just absolutely capitalize on that market. My thing was always, I didn't know what my channel would ever be, even though it was right in front of my nose all the time, aka rodeo,
Yeah.
team roping, just being a cowboy, being out and about like that. Um, so to capture all of that, especially when you start dealing with like, well, now you got to go get horses and now you got to run calves up and now you got to actually rope and do the cowboy thing, but also remember to either be holding your phone up, watching yourself do it, or have somebody like yourself or talk your friend into running the camera. But then that's just step one. Step two, now somebody's got to sit down, go through all of that, cut out what's irrelevant, keep what's funny, keep the storyline moving. Do you do all that as
Yeah.
well? Are you also on the keys, freaking chopping and putting everything together?
Yeah, so I thank God I had Taylor Pence there with me. We really put her through cowgirl boot camp that week. She's like I said, she's more of an English girl, and I was like, all right, this week, this 10 days, you're a cowgirl. Um, and so I had her helping me run the camera and edit. So we kind of tag teamed it, which worked out so well. But even though there was two of us, I feel like we needed four of us because it was like from sun up to sundown. The schedule was basically like wake up, get ready, maybe eat. And then Shad had a sign at like 10, 11, couple hours. And then after that, we'd have a couple hours to go back, maybe eat, do a couple hours of editing. And then we were at the perf by like 4:35. And then we're there pretty much all night. And then we get back and then it's like maybe eat and edit, you know? So it's just, and then repeat for 10 freaking days. So, I mean,
Yeah.
that guy has so many signings. I think that's something that not a lot of people realize is this guy doesn't have a lot of downtime. I mean, you guys saw it in the vlog a little bit, but he just like, same thing. Wake up, signing, rodeo. Wake up, signing, rodeo. So it was, it's definitely a lot. And like, yeah, like you said, like going through all the footage and splicing out, like, oh, this doesn't really matter, and moving the storyline along, finding music, adding graphics, we try to keep it simple to like get it out as soon as possible. But there were a lot of late nights, a lot of late nights and not a lot of sleep for sure.
Absolutely, because like I even think about my dream for Cowboy Cole NFR vlogs would be essentially when you land day one, you got your team that's rolling with you, and I would just have a designated editor that would roll with us like most of the first day to
Yeah.
get a feel for how we're doing this and how it's all going. And then we hand them that first hard drive of content, man, and you go sit down and edit. And so by the time we get back, we have something rough to watch through, make the tweaks. We sleep, they finish that, and we just are constantly feeding them content. And every time we come back to sit down to like you said, maybe eat or have a quick nap or change for a watch party or whatever, well, then they got something rough for us to watch. So then when we leave again, they can then make it pretty, put it out. Like it needs to happen that fast, but oh my God, you need a mini
Exactly.
movie production to do it.
You really do. After that 10 days, or like maybe like halfway through that 10 days, we're like, okay, next year we need an editor. We need an editor because we need, like you said, you need someone on Shad the whole time. We really both didn't need to be there the whole time, but like it was both of our first NFRs. Well, I'd been there the year before, but just like for like a couple days for fun. Her first NFR, we had really no idea what to expect, and so we're like, okay, we're just gonna be like both there, boots on the ground, filming him at all times, bouncing ideas off of each other because that's just like how we work. And then we'll go back and like you'll edit this and I'll edit this and I'll do one off TikTok and you chop up the YouTube and then I'll put graphics on it. And then we got to go. So we definitely need a dedicated editor next year that just like sits in the hotel room. And I pity them because that is not the fun job. Like that's not what people want to do. But yeah, you really do need someone to just sit there, edit, at least like chop it up, for something like you said, something rough for you to watch. So definitely would recommend an editor and a videographer at the
My
same time.
plan is my plan is to find I'm looking for a nerd. So if there's any nerds out there
Yeah.
who are intimidated by Las Vegas parties and streets and you just want to sit in a hotel room that I'll provide you, bro, I got a job for
Yeah.
you. Or girl, I don't
Yeah.
care.
You can sit by
Like,
the pool.
yeah,
Honestly,
absolutely.
not a bad gig.
No,
Just
it would
find
be
like a
great.
super introvert
Yeah, that's
for
literally my plan. I put that out in the universe. I'm like, God is gonna bestow upon me a nerd who's really good at editing. And it would be even better if they half-ass knew what they were looking at in terms of rodeo, because that's my other struggle too. And my videographer right now is he's come a long way, and I'm getting to take him to a lot more rodeos. But like even we had this chat the other week where I drew out on our iPad the layout of an arena. Because he would say to me, like, every rodeo we go to, it's so much different. I'm like, yes, my brother. A, that's the beauty of it. And B, for you as a filmer, you always have a focal point to base yourself off of. So we drew it out. I was like, here's basically a standard arena. If this is where the team rope and shoots are, and I just mapped out, I'm like, this is how any run could possibly go. So where can you put yourself with the lens you know you have to get most of it. Because
Yeah.
when you're rodeoing, you're not gonna be able to get all of it. Sometimes they'll run right in front of you in the corner and whatever. We cut away from that. It's all good.
Right. I was gonna say, I can't imagine that drawing that you gave him, like, oh, you could go this way, and he could go this way, or you could go up
Yeah.
here, or you could go down here. Never really know.
Yeah, for real. That's the beauty part of our sport. But for somebody that didn't grow up in it and isn't um, visually in tune with where to be and how to be and where they could end up and all those fine details, it makes a huge difference. And it really, really shows in the editing too, right? When they like cut to one thing and it's just like, well, let's cut the bronc rider out of that because we're talking about tie down roping. And they just genuinely don't know the difference yet. So that's the other struggle
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, definitely having a background in Western sports and like rodeo is massive. Yeah, you got to know where to be at the right time, what to cut for sure, and what to not cut. Because if you don't, I think like to your point, it really shows if like the editor or the videographer doesn't come from Western background. Having my friend Taylor there, I had to explain, just like she has to do to me when I go to like an eventing competition. Like last week, I was in Kentucky for the Kentucky 3-day event, and I'm sitting there filming cross country, and I'm like, I am not doing a good job. Like I'm just like I know it. I know I'm not doing a good job. And she's just shooting these crazy, amazing photos. And I'm just like, I am not in my element right now. Anytime someone would ask me a question, I'd be like, I don't know, I'm just a cowgirl. I'm just a cowgirl out here in an English world, and I'm sure that's exactly how she felt. So it's a lot of like being like, okay, like no, let's put you here, gotta do this. And so having a background in Western sports is definitely such a game changer for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. And have you found that people have been welcoming to your teammates that aren't from our world when they come in to help shoot and do videos? Do you find everybody's pretty nice?
I would say so. Yeah, no, the Western industry is definitely, um, I mean, it's kind of hit or miss. Like everyone's really nice, but at the same time, like I feel like there are a lot of barriers as far as like, um, I mean, media credentials is a great one. Getting a media credential at some rodeos, it's almost like, okay, who do you know? You know,
Yeah.
and it's kind of hard. Like even me, I can't really get my foot in the door all the time. So just having a good network of people to like ask and be like, hey, how do I get in here? But no, for the most part, like she had a great experience. She has a great experience every time she goes to a rodeo. She's always wanting to come to another rodeo. She went to the NFR, and then actually after the NFR, um, what was after that? I went to Fort Worth and then, oh, San Antonio. I was at a competition that week, that whole week. And so I was like, hey, I'm going to send you to San Antonio by yourself. You got this. Like, you're going to do great. So that entire San Antonio rodeo vlog, she actually shot and like by herself. And she just sent me the footage and I edited it. So she caught on pretty quick and she did a really good job. So I'm sure it was like hard at some times, but she had a great experience and everyone was welcoming. And then she came to the American. So she's hooked. Once you go cowboy, you cannot go back.
Yeah, I was wondering if you're gonna have a funny little spin on the end of that. Once you go cowboy, you never go.
Nope.
I don't have anything. No, that's great. Just kind of my own nerd question. How are you guys sending such big files back and forth to each other? Like if she's in San Antonio trying to get you vids, do you guys Google Drive, WeTransfer? What do you guys use?
We transfer and then Dropbox. It's not the easiest. I mean, when those files, we shoot in 4K for most, like 99% of the time. Those files are huge. They're
Yeah.
horribly huge, and it takes hours to download all this footage. Um, But I think, how did we do it? I think at one point, oh, it worked out so great. So she went to San Antonio, and then I actually flew into Fort Worth to shoot the World's Greatest Horseman, and she was meeting me there because we also shoot for Mars Equestrian. They're a big sponsor of that event. And so we just like met up in the middle. She shot half the event, I shot half the event, and she left a hard drive for me. So
Hmm.
I was able to just transfer them over. Um, so that's like best case scenario when she can just be like, here's my hard drive. Because she lives in Kentucky and I live in Arizona, so it's kind of difficult.
Yeah. I think about that all the time too. My videographer upgraded to an FX Sony camera, and like
Mm.
that thing is so badass. But then we go to pull files off that thing, and man, we're sitting in the Comedy Ranch shack right here for a hot minute. But it's so worth
Yeah, you're
it.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, you're like, this file's only like 70 gigabytes. Give me like 200 hours.
Yeah. But then the guy starts chopping through it and you're just so freaking stoked with how it looks that I would sit there again for the same stuff.
Yeah. You're like, run it back.
Yeah. And then for editing, are you an Adobe Premiere kind of gal? What are you using?
Yep, Premiere.
Okay. I was on Premiere for a while, but paying USD monthly was just really starting to kill me, so I switched to DaVinci.
Oh, okay. I've heard good things about DaVinci too. I've just never, I feel like once you get in one, you cannot dabble in the other. Like they're just like,
Yeah.
it's like having two different brands of camera. Like I used to shoot Sony and then I got a Canon and then for a while I was shooting on both. But like they're just like two totally different languages. But
Crazy. So
how
you
much were you paying for an Adobe Apple? What am I trying to say? How much were you paying for Adobe in Canadian dollars?
In Canadian, it was 33 USD, so Canadian, that would be like 45, 47 bucks a month.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Just for Premiere or for the whole suite?
I mean, it had a couple other things that I didn't really use, you know what I mean? I was just wanting to edit, and it came with things that I was like, okay, well, that's great, but now you really utilizing. And then another reason, honestly, is I bought this iPad Pro a couple summers ago to go rodeoing with, and I can get
Mhm.
DaVinci on this thing, and I'd be editing the vlog as my header was driving to the next rodeo.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I
That's super.
kind of condensed my whole situation to be able to fit in the front seat or the back seat of a Dodge, and
Yep.
I
Smart.
got a bigger unit to edit on when I need to. But honestly, man, for my style of editing, I'm pretty quick cut, fast pace. I'll do a little bit of color grading and stuff like that, but I'm kind of raw with my shit. When we really need something cinematic and looking real nice, I get my videographer. He does a really good job with that stuff, but I don't have the patience for that. I just want to get that stuff out fast. I love it.
I mean, honestly, that's kind of the way to go these days. It's like quick, raw, fast, like just get it up. I mean, that's kind of just the way of the world, unfortunately. I mean, pretty well edited vlogs are great, but as far as getting it out fast, that's what people want. That's
Mhm.
what the algorithm wants, people want. And so that's kind of the route that I've kind of tried to take with Shads is like, um, just I lost my train of thought there. Just like keep it simple. Like the transitions don't need to be crazy. The graphics don't need to be crazy. Just give me like timestamps, location, on to the next. Like just make sure the story flows, nothing too crazy. I mean, we would all love for our vlogs to look like Cole Harris type of editing style, but I just don't have the time for that. I don't have the time, I don't have the patience. Shad's not my only client, and so I just need to, cut it up, get it up, the content speaks for itself, and like Shad's funny enough where it's like, okay, boom, here it is.
Amen to that. I
Funny.
couldn't agree anymore. Especially like the cinematic stuff is great when called for, but like when I watch a vlog, or when I put out a vlog even, I want people to feel like they were there with me. Like I want that a
Yeah.
little bit of like movement in the lens to make them feel like they're fucking walking along with me and Chancho up to Pinoca Stampede or whatever we're doing that day. Like it should be a little bit more raw like that because it's that real life stuff. So like yeah, we got
Yeah.
projects where we're working on a short Western movie to film here at the Comedy Ranch right now, just for ourselves. And that's where we'll sit down and really go through it with that fine-tooth comb. But for the vlogs, I mean, rodeo's raw. So let's make it that way.
Yeah, show it exactly how it is. And there's actually one tool that I think would be really cool for you is we have like this is what we shot on at the NFR a lot. It's like this tiny little POV camera. And I don't know if you've seen these, but it's like it comes with a necklace that's like a magnet and you sit it like right here
Mhm.
and then it just like sticks right here and it's just like POV. It's great quality. It's amazing. I can totally see like you slapping it on when you're roping. I think I've done it No, we haven't done it with Shad where we just like slap it on while he ropes because it's honestly kind of scary. But we did it at the NFR where we put it on like our chest and we're just like seeing what Shad's doing, what's going on down there. So that
That's
would be a really cool tool for maybe you. I can send you a link to it.
yeah,
It's not too expensive, but it's worth every freaking penny. I mean, like you said, you can just see everything that you're doing, chop it up, boom, YouTube.
yeah, and stuff like that I try to keep in mind too, because like I will guerrilla style film myself all the time because my buddy he still works a full-time job for CP Rail, like just trying to keep the lights on until all of this does reach a point to where we can do it full time. And so my
Mhm.
ability, because I got two GoPros right now, one that I can capture all my audio on, so I got crisp audio, one that I'll put on my head when I rope. But I've even been looking at like those Ray-Ban glasses because I want to be able to like ride up to you and be like, here, wear these for this run. I've got the GoPro on, but now I'm getting shots of the healer or the header, and then I can get those glasses back, hand them to somebody else. So little tools like that is so nice to help get those different angles without you needing to sacrifice what you're doing to get them.
100%. You should definitely get those. I know Taylor Penn's had a pair, or she was borrowing a pair at one point, and they are so badass. They're super
Yeah.
cool.
They
I
shoot.
don't think we could convince Brad to wear those, but or maybe if they were sunglasses, not like are they sunglasses or are they just regular
You,
glasses?
you can get them sunglasses. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, add to cart.
At
Literally
Cheyenne,
texting Taylor.
that'd be so sick.
That would be so sick. Oh my God, I'm writing that down like right now.
Yep, absolutely.
Like that needs to happen.
I love that.
How much do those go for? Are those expensive?
I feel like the last time I looked, they were 250 USD, probably 235 US dizzle.
That sounds like a write-off.
$1 billion Canadian right now.
Yeah, seriously. That's great. That's a really good idea.
So yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I love what you're doing because my creative brain, I so badly want to be behind my own camera because I can see the shot
Mm.
that I want, but then I'm also the dude that's supposed to be getting like be in the shot. So I always struggle with that. Like I think this summer, honestly, I'm gonna sacrifice a little bit of my own rope and time to get on more cameras and just kind of shoot the way I want it to be shot, especially with some buddies that one of my best friends is number 1 in Canada in the head side. Like he's so good. So that's the time where I need to
Yeah.
be like, okay, I'm just showing up today to film. And I do enjoy that a lot. Obviously, I love roping, but I also love being behind the camera and like seeing that shit come to life too, because you see it in your head, and then when you can actually pull your phone up and be like, look what I got, look what I got, like
Yeah.
it's so
Look how
rewarding.
cool.
So
Yeah, and I mean, if you took a step back and you did it yourself, you could even like take that to someone else or take that to your videographer and be like, "Hey, like do it more like this.
yeah,
This is what I want." I definitely in the past year I understand that like push and pull between like I want to be behind the camera, but I want to be on the horse because I just started cowboy mounted shooting and I love filming cowboy mounted shooting. It's like the coolest sport, not totally unbiased, the coolest sport on horseback to me. But I'm like, shit, I want those cool videos. I want cool slow-mo videos. And thankfully I've got some friends that'll come shoot me, but like there's just times where you're like, I know I could do this so well.
I
And then you see it in you said.
yeah, 100%. One of my questions was, um, I guess, oh, it said, do you play any instruments? But I was going to ask if you played any sports. You're doing mounted shooting? That's so badass.
Yeah, it's like the most fun thing ever. I could talk about that for 500 hours, but it's
Oh,
it's like the coolest, most fun thing I've ever done in my whole life.
how did you cross paths with mounted shooting?
It's actually a funny story. So when I was in Kentucky, when I left US Equestrian in 2021, I started my own photography business. I was shooting high school, junior rodeos, and just like any Western event I could get my hands on. And someone reached out to me randomly and was like, "Hey, you should come take your cool slow-mo videos at mounted shooting events." And
Mm.
I was like, "What is that? Like that's so random." And then I saw it and I watched it in person and I was like, holy shit, this is the coolest thing in the world. And so I photographed it for so many years. I got a horse. I didn't have a trailer or anything. He was just a trail horse. And I was like, oh, maybe like one day I'll try this. And then I never did while I was in Kentucky. And then when I moved to Arizona, the gal that I ride and board with in Whitman, I was just looking for some random place that was cheap and like good care to keep my horse at. And she just happened to be a mounted shooter and she didn't like push me to do it or anything. She was like, hey, like if you ever want to come like ride with us, like totally come do it. And I was like, no, like my horse, that'd be so cool. My horse would never do that. He's like weirdly skittish, but also calm at the same time. It's really weird. I was like, no, he would never take to gunfire. Like this horse is afraid of like a plastic bag outside the arena. But like if a bear ran at him, he would be totally fine. It's like that weird. Um, and then just one day on a whim, I was like, you know what? I think this would be cool to learn. So I texted my trainer and I was like, hey, like, do you think you could help me gun break Roy just like when I get back from this trip that I'm going on? And she's like, yeah, let's go do it. And then, like every horse thing, you try it once and you're just hooked. You're just like so addicted. So I started it, and I mean, he took to gunfire within like an hour, and I was loping a pattern within an hour. And I was like, oh, well, maybe like I'll just go to a random jackpot in like 6 months once I get kind of used to this. You know, my schedule is so busy. I was at a jackpot in less than a month, and then I was at like a full-blown shoot within 2 months, and then within a year, I'm at my first like major competition. So it just like
Whoa.
snowballed from there. Never really looked back.
What are you, freaking Annie Oakley or something? God dang.
I know, seriously. I got so lucky, but my horse took to it faster than I did. Like, he's just out there freaking cruising around these patterns. And I'm like, holy shit, like, wait, you gotta slow down. Like, I'm not as fast as you. So he really went like this. And I was just like, okay, let me catch up to you. So I just got really lucky that he was so into it. And I had a great trainer, and she hauls me all over the place. And apparently in Arizona, mounted shooting is kind of like kind of like a little mecca here in Arizona and Ohio. So I guess if you can shoot well in Arizona and Ohio, you can shoot kind of good anywhere because this is like where the best people kind of are. So I just got lucky in a lot of different senses, I
Oh
guess.
my God. This is like literally I'm thinking in my head when I get back down to Arizona, I want to come I want to come try mountain shooting.
Oh my God, yeah, you should totally do it.
I would be so badass. Also, I think it's cool that you had mentioned that your horse took to it so easily. And I was talking about this just the other day with a friend about how like I got a horse here at the ranch that I've been trying to rope on for the past couple of years, and he don't want any part of it. He could give a shit about roping. And that's what I need him to do, but it's taken me a while to mentally come to terms with that's not what he is meant to do. And not every horse is going to do
Hmm.
what you need to do. We obviously don't get along enough for him to do what I want him to do, and that's okay. And it's so cool that your
Yeah.
horse loves mounted shooting out of all things. Who knew?
It's crazy. It's so weird. I mean, he literally was an accident. He was born on a family ranch and just like kept there his whole life. Before I moved him to Kentucky, which was like 23, 26 hours, he had never been on a trailer for more than probably like 2 hours at a time. Like this man's did not leave the ranch. Like he don't get out much. He don't get out ever. And no, it was so random. Once he had a job, he's like 17 years old now. Once he had a job, he was like, "Oh shit, like this is fun. Like I get to run around." And nothing bothered him. It was almost the more we did it, the more he was like, "Okay, this is really fun," you
Mhm.
know. And he's just such a good boy. And I don't know, I think we forget sometimes that horses have like complete minds of their own, and like they can decide just like us, like nope, not gonna have a part of that, don't want that. And I mean you can like force them to do something to an extent, but yeah, sometimes they're just not about it. And that happens a lot in shooting too. Like there's some horses that my trainers had that's like they just like don't break to gunfire very well. They're just like like they'll do it, but they'll just a shot will go off and they'll just like sidestep, or they'll just like go forward, and they're never just like as controllable as you need them to be. So yeah, I
I
just got
would,
lucky. He's a good horse.
I
He's the
would
best.
think, yeah, like so I mean you started it was crazy when you said I went to my first jackpot and in my brain I was just like gunfire.
You're like ripping.
Like, that's so wild. So I mean, he must have took to getting gunshot broke quite quickly then, hey? Like,
Yeah, like first day I was shooting off of him, and then um yeah, I took him to a practice, and the way that our jackpots work, they're called clean shooter jackpots. So you have to there's some of them work though, so there's two or three stages and you have to shoot clean. So you cannot miss a balloon. So if you miss a balloon, it's 5 seconds in any other competition. In this one, it's also 5 seconds, but if you don't shoot clean, you don't get any money. Like
hmm.
like you're with no money. You're donating that day. And I've donated a lot of money
Oh no.
to those jackpots. Yeah.
What's it cost to enter a mounted shooting jackpot?
It kind of depends. Anywhere from probably like $60 to I think the most I've paid was like 90. So
Okay.
that's a jackpot. And then like a CMSA sanctioned event anywhere between like 240 to shit, I probably paid like 600 for my major shoot. So it kind of ranges kind of up and down.
Okay. And what kind of prize lineup? What kind of cash payout? Where can, like, if you were to just haul off and kick the boots off all these fools, where could a
Mhm.
cowgirl go with this mounted shooting?
Honestly, I'm not totally sure. I mean, it pays decent. I mean, there are people that just like do it for a living. They travel all around the world to all the different majors and, major trainers. There's a gal here in Arizona, actually. Her name's Kenda Lonsane. I think that's her last name. I always pronounce it wrong, but like she's like the most badass mounted shooter there ever was. She's got like so many wins to her name. She always wins everywhere. And she just picks up and she does it, goes to every shoot all around the country, and she's amazing. So I think the payouts are pretty decent. I mean, in my class, like I've won a couple of my classes, and I've won anywhere from like 250 at a small shoot to like 500 at the larger shoot. So, but that's in like the lower level. So it just kind of goes up from there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 60 to
But
$90 fees winning 250 to 5, 600. That's good money. That's a return.
yeah, it's decent. It's pretty decent for
Yeah.
sure.
Dang, that's super cool. I love getting to hear random stories. Like mounted shooting's crazy. When I was in my low 20s, I was doing stunts for the TV show Heartland and got to learn how to joust and like went and trained with people that travel the world doing medieval shows and jousting and sword fighting and stuff. Like crazy,
That's
right?
crazy that you can make a career out of that.
1000%. I remember after we were kind of getting close to being done. They were like, hey, like, we don't know if you'd be interested or not, but like, if you wanted to come train with us, we're always looking for people to come be a part of our show and like eventually roll up to jousting at the shows and at competitions and stuff. And at that time, I was just so tunnel visioned on, I'm a team roper. I only rodeo. And like looking back on it, I'm like, damn, dude, I could have traveled and just been a medieval carny for a couple of years having fun,
You
but
could have been a professional jouster.
for real,
Like
yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Would have been crazy, right? But yeah, I think
What
that's
do you do for a living? I'm a jouster.
Jouster. It's no big deal.
Cool.
Yeah, no, I love that. I think that's badass. Getting to combine your
Thank you.
passion and love for horses with, I mean, I'd still consider Arizona so Wild West. So the fact that you're out there just busting six shooters off your mound is so Arizona, and I can't even, can't even handle it.
It's the most Arizona thing. It is actually wild out here sometimes. I mean, definitely not like in town. Like there are definitely pockets of it, but yeah, no, I freaking love it out here. I love Arizona. You could never tear me away from this place. I love the desert.
Yeah,
It's
no,
like it's
I feel you. Well, real quick, I won't keep you too much longer. We're about running on time, which is great. You said you grew up in Oregon?
Yeah, so I grew up actually funny enough just south of Portland, Oregon, which is crazy to me.
Oh yeah.
So I grew up like maybe 45 minutes south of Portland in like a suburb, and it's definitely a lot different than it is now. But yeah, so I grew up there. Well, I was born in California and moved there when I was 1, and then I went to college in Oregon too. So just like 2.5 hours south of there is a city called Eugene, where the University of Oregon is. So I went there for my undergrad.
Oh yeah. Well, did you ever cross paths with like Calgary Smith or his family at all growing up?
No, but the name sounds familiar.
Okay. Yeah, he's come up to Canada, kicked our ass a bunch here the last couple summers, won a Canadian title and whatnot, but he hails from that Oregon country originally. Now stays in the
Yeah.
Whitman, Arizona in the winters and whatnot. But no, that's super cool. It's
Oregon's,
crazy. It's crazy where people end up, whether it's on a horse or
yeah.
on camera or, a person finds their passion and the doors just start opening from there. Um, what's a passion project that you would love to do? You got something on your mind that you'd love to speak into the
Oh
universe?
man. I actually haven't thought about that. And you kind of, I feel like I'm living my passion project every day, honestly. As cheesy as that sounds. Um,
Cool.
I wake up every day and I get to just do exactly what I want to do. I mean, I think I would love to just get my foot in the door at so many other big rodeos. Like Calgary Stampede, I would love to go to. Next year, I want to shoot at the American, actually be able to shoot at like inside the arena content. So I think just like long-term goals is just continuing down this path, but just like doing it on a bigger scale, you know? And like obviously continuing to work for Shad. I mean, he's a great client. I don't really foresee us branching out into anyone else in the rodeo space just because we really like to keep it like pretty central, but just yeah, hitting the bigger rodeos with Shad and telling the stories and just like continue down this path, I would say. I'll have to think about that as far as like a bigger passion project. But that's
No,
it for now.
I think that sounds great. There's real power in like obviously the difference between like being stagnant and just being in one spot, but when you're comfortable in that spot and good things are happening for you in that spot, and you get to kind of just hang out in that pool of goodness, that's phenomenal because
Mhm.
other waters are coming. But if you're happy where you're at right now, there's really truly something to be said for that. So that's huge.
Yeah, you never really know what's coming around the next bend. It's crazy. I mean, shit, when Shad reached out to me, I had no idea that that was even gonna land on my plate. I mean, that was kind of like the pipe dream for me. I was managing another gal's social media accounts, and I was like, this is great, and I love this gal so much. But wouldn't it be cool if like I had this big time rodeo athlete and I could just travel around to rodeos and bloop, like it happened. And now I'm doing it, and I'm like, shit, I can't really. That's literally how it feels. Like I feel like all these things just like fall into my lap, and not to say I didn't work hard for things like that, but like I feel like a big piece of advice I give to a lot of creators because I have a lot of people reach out to me. It's like just like talk to as many people as you can, put yourself in these situations to where that's how it happens. Like, you know, if you put yourself in the right positions, you talk to the right people, you do the good work, you're good to people, things will just fall into your lap. And that's just how it works, you know?
Yeah. Yep, I couldn't agree anymore. I love that you were saying to yourself, like, I wish I could get this athlete. You put it out there, boom, ask and you shall receive, right? It's incredible what our words and what our mental game and just positive thoughts towards what you want will do wonders. So that's super cool. Well, Taylor, I really appreciate you coming on and taking the time. This has been freaking awesome. I love nerding out on stuff like this. One question we love to
Yeah.
ask our guests is since we're called Should Have Been a Cowboy, we love to ask our
Mhm.
guests when they're not a cowboy, we ask them what kind of cowboy would they be? And when they are a cowboy or a cowgirl, we ask them, what would
Mhm.
you be if you were not doing what you're doing as a cowgirl?
Ooh, that's really hard.
Hit you with two hard questions today.
So if I wasn't doing what I'm doing now, like videography and social media, what would I be doing?
Mhm.
This is gonna sound so weird and dumb and random, but I literally thought of this yesterday. I literally said this to my husband because I was on Instagram. I was like, I would love to own my own bakery.
Really?
So out of left field, but I love to bake. That's like the most uncool, weird hobby that's like opposite of all the other hobbies that I have. I would love to own a bakery, like a personal bakery. So
Nice.
that's my
Okay.
lame pipe dream answer. But like, yeah, I would love to own a bakery. I mean, I would probably just love to own my own business in any sense. I mean, I don't think I could ever work for anyone else corporate job ever again. So yes, I would be some sort of business owner, perhaps a bakery owner, but
Bicandi
yeah.
Biscuits and Bakery.
Yeah, exactly.
Headed to the Triple B. No, that's badass. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yep. Very cool. Awesome. Well, we can't thank you enough for coming on. It's been a great chat. You're doing phenomenal work, phenomenal content, and yeah, this is just the beginning for what you've got going on. We're really excited to see what else comes out of your creative brain.
Awesome. Thank you so much. This has been so fun. And if you're ever, I mean, when you're back in Whitman and Wickenburg area, hit me up. Let's go film. And if you want
Yeah.
to try mounted shooting too, like just let me know. But yeah, thanks so much. This has been so fun.
Yeah, it's been awesome. I'll definitely be reaching out and we will talk to you soon. Have a good rest of the day.
Sounds good. You too. Bye.
Bye. And that is Taylor Bicandi. Phenomenal chat. That literally went exactly kind of how I wanted it to go. Honestly, I reached out to her. My DM was so funny to her. I was just like, "Hey, me and my buddy Felipe run a podcast. He's off running trail rides right now, so I'm kind of doing some 1v1s. And I love the content you put out. I've watched all of your guys' vlogs for Shad. I think you guys are doing great work. I think more rodeo athletes need to be putting out more content like that. It's kind of content I've been putting out since 2021, just trying to capture the behind the scenes stuff that 90% of the people don't get to be involved in, 90% of the people don't get to see, and not a lot of people even get to hear the stories, to be honest. Like, there's so many rodeo fans out there and fans of the athletes that would absolutely love that fly on the wall experience of what Shad's joking about with his buddies out of the back of the trailer when he's rolling around on his hoverboard, roping the calf head. Like that's that rodeo shit. That's that stuff that um makes the lifestyle so hard to leave and makes the lifestyle so much fun. So I'm super stoked for Tayler and what they're doing and just bringing us all into the life of a guy who's literally laying it on the line every time he nods his head, and he will definitely be going down in the Hall of Fame, Mr. Chad Mayfield. But Tayler, they're doing great work. She's doing great work, and thank you guys for hanging out. Remember, you guys can catch the podcast on Podbean, Apple, Spotify. Wherever you listen to podcasts, check us out on YouTube, check us out on social media. Should have been a Cowboy podcast. Thanks for sticking around. We'll see you in the next episode. Peace out.